Ziyu asked back, "Do you know me from the first day?" At this moment, Aki was looking at Charlie coldly. He wanted to give an order to let people beat Charlie to death. However, after all, this place is near the University of Tokyo and a downtown area. So many people watched it. If it is done publicly, all kinds of public relations will be inevitable in the follow-up. In addition, there are two distinguished guests in the car, especially Ziyu, who is quite appetizing of him, and he has to maintain sufficient demeanor in front of her. If he shows the overbearing and violent side, it will definitely affect her impression of himself. So, he looked at Charlie, snorted, and said high up, "Boy, today is your lucky day. I don't want to be familiar with you, you kneel and knock me 3 heads. This matter is over." Charlie seemed to hear a joke. "You seem to be a little confused about the situation. The crux of the problem now is that you still owe me 2 arms. You." Aki was really convinced, and he thought to himself, "It's kind to give this kid a way to survive," but he ran into the road to death. "If I take advantage of the situation to beat him, no one will blame me?" Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth and said, "Good boy. I give you face, not to make you cheek. Since you don't want your face, then don't blame me for being impolite." After speaking, he immediately shouted at the bodyguards, "Hit him for me." As soon as the voice fell, a thin girl suddenly rushed into the crowd. It was the girl who was playing and singing on the street. The girl rushed in and stood in front of Charlie, blurting out, "I'm sorry, this gentleman clashed with the mobster to protect me, and I hope you don't embarrass him." As she said, she bowed to everyone. At this time, Charlie directly stopped the girl and said lightly, "These people are not worth your bow to them. Go and wait. He is Aki Taka." The girl shed tears anxiously. "He is one of the most powerful second-generation rich in Tokyo. If you mess with him, you will have a lot of trouble." Charlie said lightly, "I don't care if he is a high bridge, a low bridge, or a dangerous bridge. He owes me 2 arms today, and he must return it." Having said that, Charlie gently pushed her, and said, "Hurry and hide, otherwise if I am distracted and injured because of protecting you, you must be upset, right?" The girl was pushed out by Charlie and subconsciously wanted to break in again, but when she thought of Charlie's words, she suddenly hesitated again. She saw Charlie's skill just now, knowing that Charlie is not an ordinary person. Maybe he has the ability to compete with these people, but if he is injured because of being distracted by her, then she is really to be blamed. Thinking of this, she had to stand aside nervously. The phone in her hand had already entered the emergency number, and planned to call the police as soon as the situation was wrong. At this time, Ziyu in the car looked at Charlie and couldn't help raising her eyebrows, and said to Jufei, "Hey, the Japanese guy in your mouth is actually a Chinese." Jufei sighed. "Since I am a Chinese, I should know the reason why a strong dragon does not suppress a snake. Why is he still against Aki? This kid has a bit of a tiger character." Ziyu shook her head and said regretfully, "This guy looks pretty good, but I didn't expect his brain to not work well." Seeing that Charlie was surrounded by so many bodyguards, Ziyu had determined in her heart that he was in a disaster today. However, she had no sympathy for Charlie. Because she didn't see the whole cause of the incident, she only saw Charlie desperately chasing a man on the road, causing the man to be hit by a car, and then his arms were broken by the car. Just so, it was already a bit bloody and cruel, and she didn't expect Charlie to accept it before seeing it, and even choked with the young master of the host family. It was simply a brain problem. At this time, Aki saw that the time had been delayed for a long time, and his endurance had been completely exhausted. He immediately ordered his opponents, "Fight me. Only 1 breath left. Together with this person under my feet, you will be thrown into the rubbish heap." More than 10 bodyguards gathered around Charlie for a long time, waiting for these words. With an order from Aki, they quickly rushed to Charlie, and everyone tried their best for fear of falling behind. After all, Charlie is only one person. In their eyes, this is the standard of more monks and porridge. Everyone is a top master. If anyone is a little slower, this kid may notice them. In that case, those who lag behind will have no chance to show their strength in front of the young master. Seeing so many people surrounding Charlie, Takahashi suddenly shrank the encircling circle, and a sneer of mockery was wiped from the corner of his mouth. A little man, dare to confront Aki on the streets of downtown Japan. Isn't this a death-seeking thing? It's a pity that, as the eldest master of the Takahashi family, it is not convenient for me to personally shoot in front of so many people. Otherwise, I really want to destroy you by myself. Aki was expecting to see Charlie's dying appearance immediately, but he didn't expect that a few screams of horror and pain suddenly came from the encircling men made up of more than 10 masters. Immediately afterwards, several people on the periphery of the encirclement circle flew out one after another. What? Pain. This kid, is he a human? Accompanied by these few hoarse roars, several people flew out, and then fell heavily to the ground. One of them flew to the feet of Aki in a daze. The subordinate was grabbed by Charlie's in the neck and threw him out directly, so he lay heavily on Aki's feet, and with a bang, Aki was startled.